The daily wage of Sengoku Ashigaru, when converted to modern currency, was astonishingly low. The value of their lives was unimaginably cheap. Actual records show an Ashigaru's daily pay was about 2 sho of rice, or 10 irakutsuho coins. In modern value, this was a mere 1,000 to 2,000 yen. Yet, the true weight of their lives cannot be fully expressed by this alone. In fact, an even more astonishing truth was hidden within this. What exactly was the value of an Ashigaru's life in the Sengoku period? This video will explain why Ashigaru wages were so low, how they earned their daily sustenance, and the shocking modern-day equivalent of their lives' value. Let's delve into that truth. The main feature also elaborates on the rewards Ashigaru could earn on the battlefield and the lives of their families. During the Sengoku period, Ashigaru originally referred to lightly armed infantry recruited from peasants and common soldiers. They were placed on the front lines, literally tasked with running across the battlefield with their feet. Most of them were farmers who typically engaged in agricultural work. In times of war, they were summoned by their lords and sent to the battlefield, armed with spears and bows. Ashigaru were the lowest social class, existing somewhere between samurai and peasants. While they might temporarily be treated as samurai for their achievements in battle, they were generally regarded as expendable soldiers. So, what was their daily wage? Records from the time show it was typically 2 sho of rice or 10 irakutsuho coins. Converting this to modern currency reveals an astonishingly low amount. 2 sho of rice is roughly equivalent to 3 kilograms of rice. If we consider the modern price of rice at about 500 yen per kg, the value of 2 sho of rice was only 1,500 yen. Similarly, 10 irakutsuho coins, though subject to various interpretations, are valued at approximately 1,000 to 2,000 yen. This means an Ashigaru's day, risking their life, was compensated with an amount less than the modern minimum wage. Considering the modern minimum wage of around 1,000 yen per hour, an 8-hour workday yields 8,000 yen. Ashigaru, exposed to mortal danger all day long, received only a fraction of that compensation. What's even more surprising is that this daily pay wasn't always guaranteed. It was not uncommon for wages to be delayed if a war dragged on. They largely relied on self-sufficiency or supplemented their lives through looting on the battlefield. It was less a wage and more an allowance for participating in battle. The lives of Ashigaru were a constant state of extreme poverty, perpetually bordering on death. So why, despite such low compensation, did they choose to go to war? The reasons Ashigaru went to war weren't solely about wages. Their primary goals were spoils of war from looting, or the promise of new land and higher status granted as rewards. In the samurai society of the Sengoku period, there was a possibility of rising in status by achieving merit. For Ashigaru, war was a chance for a quick fortune, and simultaneously, the only way to escape their current poverty. For instance, Tokichiro, who served Oda Nobunaga and later became Toyotomi Hideyoshi, also started his career as an Ashigaru. While an extremely rare case, it offered hope and dreams to other Ashigaru. Furthermore, looting was, to some extent, an openly accepted act in Sengoku period warfare. Raiding enemy villages to seize food and wealth also served the purpose of securing provisions. However, looting was always fraught with danger. They could face counterattacks or even clashes with their own comrades. Many Ashigaru lost their lives in disputes over spoils. So, what exactly was life like on such a perilous battlefield? Their daily existence was far harsher than we can imagine. Ashigaru primarily lived in encampments. They huddled in crude tents or makeshift huts, and their meals were simple. They were constantly tormented by hunger and cold. Even on non-combat days, they were assigned various chores like transporting supplies, constructing fortifications, and maintaining roads. It was quite literally a relentless routine from dawn till dusk. Moreover, Ashigaru's equipment was generally self-provided, or only the bare minimum was supplied by their lord. Crude bamboo spears, bows, and simple cuirasses were common, and full armor was rarely worn. Consequently, on the battlefield, they had to fight under overwhelmingly disadvantageous conditions compared to armored samurai. Their lives were truly like candles in the wind. Many Ashigaru lost their lives on the battlefield. A significant number also succumbed to disease or starvation, and their deaths were largely unacknowledged. Even if they had families, the death of an Ashigaru in battle would plunge their loved ones into further destitution. In the Sengoku period, an Ashigaru's death often meant the ruin of their family. So, how did the Daimyo view these Ashigaru who lived under such brutal conditions? What significance did their existence hold for the Sengoku Daimyo? For the Daimyo, Ashigaru were an indispensable force, providing numerical strength. By absorbing enemy attacks on the front lines, they allowed the samurai to execute their tactics. However, their value was solely as military force. Respect for individual lives was incomparably lower than in modern times. They were truly expendable pawns. Many Ashigaru returned to being peasants once the war ended. However, many also found it difficult to resume their former lives due to injuries or illnesses sustained in battle. There was almost no public support for elderly Ashigaru or those injured and unable to work. They were simply forgotten once the wars concluded. Some Ashigaru were occasionally appointed as local minor lords, such as gashi or dogo, for maintaining public order, but these were extremely rare occurrences. Ultimately, most Ashigaru spent their entire lives amidst poverty and the fear of death. Their exceedingly low wages vividly illustrate the social structure and the value of life at the time. The value of an Ashigaru's life, unimaginable in modern times. Yet, upon their sacrifices, the Sengoku Daimyo walked the path to unifying Japan. So why were Ashigaru wages so low? It was because they were considered easily replaceable, of low status and expendable pawns. How did they earn their daily sustenance with such low pay? Besides their meager daily wages, looting on the battlefield and receiving rewards for achievements were their primary sources of income. And can the true value of life truly be seen through modern price conversions? The modern equivalent of a few thousand yen only represents a fraction of the hardships, hunger, and fear of death they endured. The lives of Ashigaru were treated with a lightness unfathomable by modern values. Yet, precisely because they existed, the Sengoku period moved forward, and history was woven. Perhaps it was upon the blood, sweat, and sacrifices of these nameless Ashigaru that the tumultuous Sengoku period was truly built.